Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Brown, Dave Head, as we get ready for another episode of A-Star Anime, as we finish up Mr. Girlfriend X. So...
Our mutant ability is to communicate with drool? Not the worst mutant power ever.
Oh, man.
Definitely bottom tier, but...
Hey, it happens. Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen, we watched episodes 11 through 13. We finished it off. So now, we are in the... Episode 11, we're in the second half of the school festival. Probably one of the biggest storylines to date.
Kind of the only two-parter.
It is, but it's because it's an important part of the story. Like it's a big hit.
It gets weird.
It does because
Naked people.
yes. After
No, the anime doesn't show it, but
yeah. After oh my god, I forgot her name.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Something Kawa.
Himakawa, I think it's what it is, but I could be wrong. Anyways, wow, I can't believe I forgot her name all of a sudden.
She wasn't important.
Not really. But after she brings Tsubaki to a secluded room, she believes that she can convince him to, well, start dating her.
All he's got to do is throw his arms around her.
He refuses, and they kind of get into it a little bit, and at one point, Kawa decides to try to use the drool technique. It looks like... Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, we are grown adult people.
It's terrible.
The drool technique. Lunch in the 34th chamber.
But she tries to get him to take the drool, and before that can happen, Urube steps in, but
they were interrupted by a robot. Huh.
The robot turns out to be Urube, who decides to blindfold Tsubaki and do a kind of a
Rochambeau.
Yeah, I don't know about Rochambeau, but
they did paper, rock, scissors to see which one would go first, and they were going to test him.
Test him out to see if he could tell whose drool is whose. Urube goes first, and the blindfold becomes pretty much pointless because not only does he know it's her, he knows she's naked. So
under all them boxes.
So at that point, Kawa decides to try to up the ante and try to do the same thing. She strips and tries to get him to taste her drool. But even she kind of rejects the idea, and then the two girls kind of have this moment of like,
ha, we're naked in a classroom.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, an understanding until Tsubaki loses his blindfold. So
and his marbles.
Just a bit. If it weren't for Oka, who happened to be the sidelines,
spying on the side,
Tsubaki might have been there for a while, just sitting there staring. So, it happens. But that's how we end those episodes. That episode. But then we go to 12, where the entire episode is loosely based on what happens in episode 11, with the whole nude scene. Because Tsubaki can't get out of his head, he just saw his girlfriend naked. However, this is also affecting Urube, because
she can't get out of her head either.
So, to the point where Tsubaki's affected during the middle of during the whole ritual that they do, and decides to unconsciously go to hug her. Well, she uses her little passage technique.
I don't know what's funnier. The drool technique used during the drool ritual. Or the fact you're saying this as if you were giving somebody a muffin recipe. This cartoon's ridiculous.
It really is. I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
But no,
it's so ridiculous.
It is. But in this case, when she does the passage technique she has, the problem is she actually hits Tsubaki with it. And she's devastated that this has happened. So, upon going to their place to get it patched up, is where they figure out, okay, there's some issues going on that we have.
So many feels, so many hormones.
To the point where after embracing Tsubaki after he attempts to hurt himself to avoid her.
Well, he trips and falls, and instead of falling on her, he kind of sidesteps and bangs into the bedpost because reasons.
Yes. She realizes, maybe the whole no contact bit is starting to get to both of us.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, maybe we should,
Grow up?
grow up a little bit. Thus we get to episode 13 where...
There's a lot of space between, hey, I like you, and, shacking up together.
I agree. So, then we go to episode 13 where half the episode is Tsubaki's sister talking with Urube.
At a cat cafe that had no cats.
Yeah. And Tsubaki's sister is just kind of reminiscing, her old days, but her days with her boyfriend and whatnot. And
Kind of gossiping a little bit about her brother.
and it's kind of the things that got
Urube's
Urube's
wheels turning.
And later on, she finds out that they had visited the family grave,
Yeah, Tsubaki's-
Tsubaki's mother's grave, and
Whose name would have been Tsubaki as well.
yeah. So, shut up. It's like, shut up.
It is the Tsubaki family grave.
Yeah, shut up. Anyways, they visit the mother, and she decides to tell Tsubaki, hey, let's go visit your mother again, the two of us. And so they do.
Because she really wants to introduce herself.
So,
I mean,
yeah. And, hey, I am, the girlfriend of your son, da-da-da-da.
you'll have to accept some spirituality in that episode to
Yes.
really understand what's going on. If you understand anything about the Japanese culture of the afterlife, of leaving offerings and burning incense for the spirits, or at least the memory of the past loved ones, then it makes a lot more sense.
At which which it kind of, I always thought was funny and a little awkward that they decided to share drool in front of the mother's grave.
But they don't do it in their normal, we're dating drool ritual. This one's more of like, let's delve through the mind and the memory of your 3-year-old self.
Yeah, it's just kind of odd.
Drool mysticism.
But in this case, the drool kind of helps Urube understand that, Tsubaki may not remember his mother. However, when her passing came about, he was devastated.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're able to share that moment.
he may not recall the memories, but she made the impression that a mom's going to make on a son, even if he was only 3 when she passed.
Mm-hmm.
And that the love of his older sister and their dad, who was shown in this episode for the first time,
Yeah.
helped Tsubaki have more happiness than sadness. So she, realizes that that's what's going on and has a desire to want to be a part of that, to be a joy in his life and not a misery. So, which all good relationships should, be a blessing, not a burden.
Exactly. And so that's where we get to the end of the series, where it's that moment of, hey, let's make it. Let's
We're gonna make it.
Let's make this relationship happen. And so that's kind of how the series ends.
I mean, they do come out and they're 17, both of them.
Yeah.
So, not 100% certain of the school rituals, but I do know adulthood is 20. They may be graduating high school soon. I don't know if this is the second to the last or the last year, but
I'm not quite sure myself.
it does really show this whole, they're planning to move forward into the world, not only together, but as adults.
Yes. So, great.
Or reverse that, not only as adults, but together.
Yes. And so,
Strike a pose, Vogue.
so it's a pretty heartwarming series towards the end there, but the one thing that gets me throughout this entire series that Dave had brought up earlier while we were watching is to be honest, I didn't realize how dumb Tsubaki actually was.
The first time we watched this, obviously he watched it and I watched it at separate times in our lives.
Yeah.
Didn't even know each other at the time.
Mm.
You're just so shocked by what's going on and how weird it is that you don't realize that Tsubaki's a bag of hammers.
He really is. Because nothing makes sense to me whatsoever on this relationship. I understand that this is his first relationship.
But
Maybe
it's hers as well.
And I'm sure there's some confusing points of what to do, what not to do, yada yada. It makes sense.
When is it appropriate?
Yeah, it makes sense. However,
some things just...
should be more natural than it seems.
Like, if that's your girlfriend, dude, I don't know, maybe tell your family.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and I figure, his family doesn't know about the relationship. Classmates, other than Oka and whatnot,
And
really
they
know.
had to find it out.
Yeah,
And
they found out by
Uno doesn't even know, really.
No,
That's his best friend.
Yeah, and I said to him, like, wow, that's kind of bad. Even in the manga where the story continues,
Still don't find out?
no, he never knows. None of the other students ever know, and it's not until the very end of the manga, since now we're done with the series, and I'm, spoilerific, I don't care. Even the manga, at the very end, at the very end of the series, is when Urube finally tells Tsubaki's sister, hey, we're dating. And I was like, wait, you wait till the very end of the series to finally say, hey.
And she has to do it, not him?
What happened was,
Ugh.
actually, the reason why that happened is because Tsubaki wasn't there, or Akira wasn't there.
Yeah.
She went to go visit their mother's grave on her own.
And
The sister happened to
there.
be there.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, she's confused, like, why would...
I'm just saying, when I had my first girlfriend, I took her to meet my mother.
Yes.
We met at my mom's work. That's a little odd now that I'm, older, but I was excited and I wanted her to meet her, so I took her as quickly as I could.
It makes sense. But in terms of the manga, what happens is, this is years down the road, and you're supposed to blank out the idea that they haven't graduated yet. But the idea...
Well, maybe they don't start off 17 in the manga.
It's not that. It's just that even in the footnotes on the side...
72 years of high school.
Yeah, even the side notes, because they go through the Christmas holiday and blah, blah, multiple times. So
God!
So the idea behind it is you're supposed to ignore the fact that they haven't graduated.
The stories just keep going. It's like Ranma 1/2.
Yes. And so the whole point to it is...
It's probably Ranma 33 and 1/2.
It's this point where she goes to the grave to give her respects and whatnot. Tsubaki's sister's there. And all of a sudden, it's that moment of...
Hey, I know you. What are you doing here?
Yeah, it's like, why would you visit this grave that you have no connection to? And that's when it's kind of like, you know what? I think it's time to, reveal, hey, this is why.
I'm gonna make you some nephews.
So, now, folks, we did tell you last time that we are kind of changing up how we're doing the whole scoring thing. We're not necessarily going to do it per every 5 episodes. We're actually going to try to go through the whole series. So now that we've seen the whole series from beginning to end, and we'll kind of give you our final synopsis here. Visually, to be honest, I like the visuals. I like the settings. I like the idea that they do the flashbacks and the kind of dream world. And
they don't do it enough in this section.
They don't?
And I don't recall them doing it too much in the last section.
I still like it though when
I do too, but that's what I'm saying is that that's a really unique thing that says, hey, not only are we weird, we're artistic. Come here.
Yeah, and a lot of metaphors, a lot of symbolism comes out.
Especially the last episode.
Yes.
So many blooming flowers.
It happens, but I personally would have to give it a 2 because I think it just works well. I really wish I'd see more of those dream sequences, but where they do use them, I think they're appropriate.
I give visually a 2 as well, but I think for you, the viewer, you would probably give it a 1. The reason I say this is because it does have an older style animation. It is kind of late 90s, early 2000s style. I don't know when it was made or if that was on purpose. That's my jam.
The series started in... The series had a The first part of it was 2004 and didn't didn't serialize in 2009.
Gotcha.
So that animation style, so the early animation style was still that early transition before they switched
Right.
over, and so they decided to keep it,
Right.
and it works.
Just traditional large eye characters, simple shades. I like it. It's
It
my
really
style.
works. Now, audio is a 1. It's because the music's there, it's the background stuff. Now, when they do the dream sequence, they play that little kind of classical
Well, the
music.
sound effects are awesome.
Yeah.
Remember how when she goes for her attack, they
Music.
change the tempo up.
Yeah, the
beating on
drums are going.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I get why you feel that it's a 1.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing but those special moments stand out, but there's nothing to tie them together. I will give it a 2 anyways, but I can understand why you went with the 1.
Yeah. Now, for story, I would also technically have to give this a 1. Not because the story is bad or anything, it's just that given Tsubaki's nature, it drowns out the progress that could have been going on. And it kind of bugs me a little bit there.
He's too stupid for it to be a comedy,
It is.
and he's too stupid for it to be a romance.
Because,
And for a comedy romance, what are you doing?
no offense, it's one of those things where I don't like it when you have a romantic comedy series where one of the two main characters is such an idiot. There's I understand being oblivious to certain things.
Well, especially as weird as she is,
Yes.
you can give a lot of leeway in the beginning. But we're talking like the first 6, 7 episodes. By this time, you've already been with this girl for 2, maybe 3 seasons? Like calendar Earth
Yeah.
turns around the sun seasons? Maybe there's some things you should remember, like don't throw your arms around her. She doesn't like lying. She cuts
Yeah.
things fast.
And so I never understood why he never learns. He still does the same mistakes over and over and over again. And to me, it's no longer funny at that point.
Right.
It's just straight stupid. So I love
I agree the story, I give it a 1, and I agree for the reason. Urabe's weird. She may knock some of you out of this as well. Oka?
Okay.
Oka's creepy as well at times. She brings in... the sad part is, as weird as she is, she brings in some normalcy when her and
Uno.
Urabe
Yeah,
are doing their kind of friends thing.
Well, I think that's
It
the
humanizes her.
Well, it makes sense
Urabe.
because Urabe is always still kind of like, oh, we wouldn't do this, but Oka kind of gives off that moment of like, well, why wouldn't you? This would be, it's a natural process,
Your
this,
boyfriend's
that,
all you naked, he's going to be thinking about that.
exactly. And she's like, why would he be thinking about it? I was like, and it's kind of one of those things where at some points even I think Urabe's an idiot.
Well, I don't think she's an idiot. I think they go out of their way to just show you she might be an alien.
Yeah. So that happens. Now, overall enjoyment, I'll definitely give it a 2. Only for the sheer fact because I actually still like the series for what it is.
I would have given it a 2 before we watched it this time, but I have to admit that the second going through, I see a lot more flaws than I did the first time. First time I watched it, it was just so unique, so interesting, and attention-grabbing. This time, the stuff already had my attention, things I knew to kind of expect. And the weird factor plus Tsubaki-kun being a dummy dum-dum.
I do have to admit, he's probably the dumbest.
I do remember watching this going, I know they're supposed to be kids, but could they not freaking, I don't know, hug or kiss by the last episode? Like normal relationships would have advanced? I mean, or I don't know, introduce her to your family.
If I'm not mistaken, the manga, they kiss at the very end. But it takes forever. But it takes forever to get to that point.
There is holding off for the payoff, but there's no payoff.
Yeah, that is another issue, is that there is no payoff. But
Unless you like weird.
Haha. But
Or
they
scissors.
one of the two. So, folks, I mean, I give the series a total of a 6. Probably a little higher than I'm sure some of y'all would probably give. Dave gives it a 5, so it's kind of like middle of the pack. Not.
I mean, if you've never seen it, and the idea of drool doesn't make you sick, go watch it.
I agree.
It's entertaining. It's 13 episodes.
Bless you.
Thank y'all.
Excellent. So, folks, I mean, this has been Mysterious Girlfriend X.
Yep.
If you happen to like it and you are wanting to buy the DVDs, Blu-ray, whatever you want, there is a special OVA episode I do like that has.
I know nothing of this.
Yeah, it has a weird concept to it. They go to a festival.
And squirrels attack.
Not that weird.
Ninja squirrels?
God, why would you make it worse?
I think you meant to say better.
Oh, dear God. And,
We've come for your nuts!
Oh no!
that's funny.
Luckily I have a hammer. Wait, what?
What
And
does it make any
panty scissors.
Yay!
And then
No.
she cuts all the tails off the squirrels, and then they can't do their balance, so they fall over.
Yeah. Interesting. No, but it's a very interesting episode. I won't spoil it for you. If you really want to see it, there's ways to find out where it's at. There's
Not on Crunchyroll.
not Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll does not have the OVAs on them.
But you can watch episodes 1 through 13,
Yes.
and if you have a subscription, you can do it without.
Commercials.
And we're not even getting paid for this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed these fine episodes.
Fine.
Fine episodes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chris. He's Dave. 8-star anime. Awkward.
Achieved. No doubt. No doubt.
We'll see you next time.